Well, that is, my beam engine has purchased, probably best described as a non-working wreck. The lubricator here is beyond repair. The ratchet gear and so on has less teeth than I have. The bearings are quite worn. The pipework is pitted, half blocked, and the unions leak. This was part of the exhaust. It's in there. They'd attempted to regulate the speed of the engine by this valve restricting the exhaust. It is really bad practice and probably to a large extent accounts for the condition of the engine and the state of the pipework and so on, and seals. That's a non-working governor. I'll probably get rid of that, as I have to get rid of this. I want, in my own small way, to make a dedication to those that toiled in terrible conditions in the copper industry at Amlwch during the late 18th century to the early part of the 20th century. A great deal has been written about the landowners, the bosses, the shareholders and all the rest of it. But this is for those that did the actual work. Men, women, known as copper ladies, or actually copper laddies to use a local term. They were essential, highly skilled people. And of course the children who worked there as well. And this is the remains of the beam from the original beam engine on top of the mountain. Well, actually there were two of them. The one was for pumping water and the other was to drive a line shaft down the mountain for various processes in the way. That's the remains of one of the engine houses. You can see the chimney there for the boiler. That's another view of it there, you can see, of course. That's looking down towards Amlwch. The ore was originally taken down by mule train of all things, and then they added a gravity railway, make things a bit easier. I'm trying to give everybody an idea of what was going on there. So I want to make this model beam engine a dedication to the
guys who worked there, I suppose, because I come from Amlwch or nearby. I've added this narration later because there was too much wind noise to do it while I was taking the video. There's a modernish 1970s pithead winding engine, I suppose you'd call it. There's been several attempts to renew production from the mine, but although the copper's still there, it's too expensive to get it out to make it commercially viable. There's also some tin there as well. That's a general view of the place, so you can appreciate how big this thing was. Once the largest copper mine in the world. Some with horizontal shafts, vertical shafts, and open cast, all sorts. There we are, back down the harbour. That's where the incline, the gravity railway ran down. There was a bridge across that space you can see there. Then along the quay, and the ore was stored in these bins ready for loading into little coastal schooners which took it to Swansea for smelting and so on. Life expectancy for the people who worked with the copper was very short. The ore contained an enormous percentage of arsenic and sulphur. And sulphur actually was used. It became a main product during the Napoleonic Wars because you make gunpowder out of it. So this is my little dedication model to them. Not an exact model of the one that was there, but similar.
Well, there she is. Well, that's the work started. We put in a new bypass displacement lubricator here instead of the old mechanical one. That's a pump shaft there. That's been fitted with its joints, etc. You can see here it needs a new piston ring. The old one was disintegrated, so I'll replace it with a silicon ring, I think. The slide bulb in here had to be adjusted. The trowel on it was wrong. It was hitting the end here, so it's been screwed in now, so it's equidistant between the two ports. The split eccentric here is loose on the shaft, so that's I'll need to deal with. That's about all I can show you at the moment. But it's getting there. I was fortunate the bore of the cylinder is fine, there's no problems with that, so that'll make life easier. Anyway, onward I go with the work. Obviously there'll be a part 2 of it running on air and steaming, I hope. Oh, I nearly forgot my new pulley for the drive belts here. So there's nowhere else to put a pulley because I want to put a governor on this one.